All right, now we're doing 7Q first class function factory. This is by Otajor, and 91% of the people like it. We're going to write a function factory that takes a number as its parameter and returns another function. The return function should take an array of numbers as its parameter and return an array of those numbers multiplied by the number that was passed into the first function. In the example below, 5 is the number passed into the first function, so it returns a function that takes an array and multiplies all elements in it by 5. Translations and comments, there we go. All right, so here's the example. There's going to be 5. We're going to make a function called 5s, but we call it whatever we want. And it's going to multiply everything in a function by 5. Excuse me, in an array by 5. All right, so basically just a map function or something like that. So let's get to it real quick. So what we're going to do here is we're going to say return, because that's what we're doing, and then we're going to return this function. And I think we'll just call it multiplier. All right? And then for the argument, we're going to put this here, the my array, as the argument. All right? And then we're just going to do something that is going to take care of this. So we're going to start off with like an initial value, and we're going to call it return. All right? And it's going to be an empty array, not return. Result. All right, and we're going to say let result equal that. Awesome. All right, and then we're going to do a for loop so we can iterate through my array. So we'll iterate through this. So we'll say for let index equals 0 while index is less than my array dot length. We're going to say index plus plus. All right, and so now we're just going to do a result dot push, and into it we'll push my array at index, at the current index, so my array at the current index times x. All right, and then we'll return the result after this one right here, because we're inside of this one doing this. So we'll say return result. All right, test it out. It works. All right, attempt it. Let's see. All right, so we've got 4 milliseconds, 2 milliseconds, and 1 millisecond. That equals 7 in my book. So we'll put 7 milliseconds down. All right, and we're going to see if we can beat it with this concise syntax. We're going to say const here factory equals x, and then we're going to have an arrow function right here. And we don't really need any of this stuff for this, because what we're going to be using here, not math.round, we're going to be using map. And the map method creates a new array populated with the results of calling a provided function on every element in the calling array. So here's like a map method right here, and every element here from array 1 is going to go through and be multiplied by 2. So we get 2, 8, 18, and 32 from 1, 4, 9, and 16. All right, and this is the syntax we're going to use. We're going to have the element, an arrow, and some syntax. All right, so it's pretty much exactly like this. We're going to say my array, and we'll just have that as the name of the function too at the same time. So, and it's going to pass that in as the parameter too. All right, so we're going to say my array dot map, and we're going to have element, and then we're going to say element times x. All right, so it's pretty much exactly what we did with that for loop, except for a lot more concisely instead of, Instead of my array at index, we can just write element, no big deal. So let's test it out, see if it works. It does, attempt it. We've got 4 milliseconds, 1 millisecond, 1 millisecond. Looks like concise syntax wins by 1 millisecond. All right, so let's submit it. Very much like this one. Let's go to My Solutions. Just me on this one. Best practice in my opinion. And we'll see you next time.